happening now, officials are pushing a schedule to reopen our area. What we know next. Plus, we ask Jamestown Mayor Eddie Sundquist about the status of this year's Lucille Comedy Festival.
And the rain has been steady state throughout much of the morning. That'll continue throughout the afternoon. But are there any better days ahead? We'll talk about it next as the news starts right now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. One new case of COVID-19 was reported in Chautauqua County yesterday, with one more person recovering from the virus. Officials during their update said the new case involves a woman in her 60s. Currently, there are 4 active cases, with patients continuing to recover in quarantine. 33 total confirmed cases, 26 recovered cases, and 3 deaths related to the outbreak. Health officials say that common sense can go a long way in stopping the spread. They say those with fever, respiratory, or other flu-like symptoms, including cough, shortness of breath, body aches, diarrhea, or other symptoms of illness, especially if you have recently traveled, should let their primary care provider know because they need to be tested for COVID-19. And there was no change in Cattaraugus County's COVID-19 numbers yesterday. Coming up tomorrow at 3 o'clock, Chautauqua County officials are scheduled to hold their weekly press conference update, which you can watch live right here on WNY News Now. Well, there's new hope in the search for a drug to treat coronavirus as researchers work towards a vaccine. It's called remdesivir, a drug initially intended to treat the Ebola virus. The application wasn't fruitful, but there are signs that it could be useful in reducing the lengthiness and severity of the outbreak. Medical correspondent Elizabeth Cohen reports.
Finally, after months of illnesses, deaths connected to the scourge that is COVID-19, we have some good news. Doctors have found a medicine that seems to work. It's called remdesivir.
The data shows that remdesivir has a clear-cut, significant, positive effect in diminishing the time to recovery.
Remdesivir was a drug developed for Ebola, but it didn't work very well for that virus. It's never actually been on the market for any illness. In preliminary results of this new study, sponsored by the National Institutes of Health, more than 1,000 patients were randomly assigned to take either remdesivir or a placebo. It took the placebo patients 15 days to recover. It took the remdesivir patients 11 days to recover, a 31% improvement.
Although a 31% improvement doesn't seem like a knockout 100%, it is a very important proof of concept, because what it is proven is that a drug can block this virus.
Specifically, the drug blocks an enzyme the virus needs to replicate. Researchers can use that knowledge to create other drugs.
There are a lot of other enzymes that the virus uses that are now going to be targets for this.
Plus, 4 fewer days in the hospital means less time for something to go wrong, like a hospital-acquired infection.
If you stay 4 more days in a hospital, intubated in a ventilator, you increase dramatically the chances that you're going to have nosocomial infections and the chances that you're going to die.
Another advantage, it's thought that the drug has few side effects.
Through the data we had in our trials in Ebola patients, we knew that the side effects were pretty minimal in patients, and they were easily reversed when the medication was stopped.
But researchers are clear this is not by any means a cure for coronavirus.
I think that we are seeing a slight glimmer of hope here, but I worry that the exuberance is related to an old saying that there's no sauce better than hunger, and we want something so bad that even something that looks a little bit promising is getting blown out of proportion in terms of what it means for the number of lives that we're going to save here.
They'll forge on. They'll keep looking at remdesivir and also try to find another drug, or maybe a combination of drugs, that will be even more powerful against COVID-19.
Elizabeth, thank you. Meanwhile, a professor at Texas A&M University believes a century-old vaccine for tuberculosis could help treat coronavirus. The school's chancellor now offering $2.5 million to ensure that research can proceed as quickly as possible. Well, 2 local state representatives released a new schedule today for reopening business in our region. As a follow-up to their Restarting New York plan, New York State Senator George Borrello and Assemblyman Andy Goodell now have constructed a schedule for reopening business sectors based on their inherent risk levels and the ability to mitigate those risks. The plan provides a detailed breakdown of lower and higher risk business sectors through analysis of workplace setting and occupational characteristics and the ease of adapting safety protocols to those environments and activities. Now, sectors and settings identified as lower risk include those like manufacturing, construction, retail, low-density administrative, and some sole proprietor small businesses, among a few other things. Sectors identified as high risk include those in the entertainment industry, adult daycare services, high-density settings, and mass transit.
Since we have a low rate of infection, since we have a very, very, very low rate of active cases, since we have critical businesses that are already operating, and we can be a model as to how we expand that.
Now, the plan stresses that regional and individual business plans should include all safety measures to reduce the risk as much as possible. We have the full plan posted right now at WNYNewsNow.com and on our mobile app. Well, COVID-19 isn't just a health threat, it's also a wealth threat. The pulse of the U.S. economy right now is pretty faint, and experts say it'll be a while until it recovers. John Lawrence was with the president yesterday, who's trying to help some small, struggling businesses.
The U.S. economy infected by the coronavirus.
We're going to see economic data for the second quarter that's worse than any data we've seen for the economy. And they're a direct consequence of the disease and the measures that we're taking to protect ourselves from it.
Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell says this is a crisis the U.S. has never seen before.
Next week's jobs report is expected to show that the unemployment rate, which was at 50-year lows just 2 months ago, has surged into double digits.
The recovery process is expected to be gradual, but President Trump is optimistic.
I think next year is going to be an incredible year for our economy. I think the fourth quarter is going to be really, really good.
In the meantime, businesses struggle to stay afloat.
We went from a full restaurant of 120 seat capacity to maybe 2 or 3 people trickling in.
It makes you realize, what you used to have and now you don't have it, right?
And look forward to an economic rebound.
When the spread of the virus is under control, businesses will reopen and people will come back to work. We will continue to use our tools to assure that the recovery, when it comes, will be as robust as possible.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
All right, John, thank you. Chairman Powell also noted that unemployment rose much higher for minorities than it did for white Americans. Well, the fate of several annual festivals remains unknown nationwide due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and the 2020 Lucille Ball Comedy Festival here in Jamestown is no different. WNY News Now asked Mayor Eddie Sundquist during a teleconference town hall yesterday if the festival will still happen this year. Now, he declined to comment on that specific question, deferring it to the National Comedy Center, who's hosting the event. Sundquist says, though, as of Wednesday, the NCC hasn't filed any permit requests to the city. He adds that it is common and that organizers from other events have already canceled or rescheduled due to the virus. The mayor says a festival would provide an economic boom for the city should it occur.
Well, anytime the city can have a large amount of influx of people that are staying here, that are spending their time here, that are going to our restaurants and supporting our activities, that's always a great thing in terms of sales tax revenue, in terms of supporting some of our small businesses. Having that festival is absolutely huge, but my other concern and my top priority is the health and safety of our residents. So there is a real question over whether people are going to be ready or willing to be in large groups over the summer.
Now, the National Comedy Center has not yet responded to our request for comment as of airtime. Of course, we will keep you updated. And certainly the festival each year brings a lot of people from a lot of places and big economic boom. But as the mayor mentioned there, certainly in today's public health times, we do have to be careful. Hopefully everybody is having a good day, and we thank you so much for joining us here on WNY News Now as we continue to put facts over fear in our coverage of COVID-19. Got to say hello to Don. Hopefully you're doing well. Thanks so much for joining us on the broadcast today. Hello to Tabby. Good to see you. Good to see TR. Good to see Lance. Lori Raymond. Good afternoon. He says, good COVID-free afternoon, gentlemen. Hopefully it's COVID-free where you are as well. Hello to Crystal, David, Donna, Joe as well. Hopefully you all are having a good day. Well, let's switch gears now and get a check of our First Defense weather forecast with Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter. Good day to you, Mr. Hunter. It was pretty windy out there last night. I had my window open because it was warmer, and it closed the door on me to my bedroom. Scared the living bejeebus out of me. At like 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
So,
the wind was up yesterday, the wind was up last night, and of course we had the rain to go along with it. So we had a little bit of wind-driven rain, especially last night. And we still had some rain this morning. There it is on the radar. A lot of the widespread rain now has pretty much started to taper off and move out to the east. But through the afternoon, there will be the chance for scattered afternoon showers basically throughout the rest of the day. And you can see more rain is basically on the way as we speak right now. But yesterday's highs, can you believe this? 65 here in town, 72 Dunkirk, about 73 over in Erie. It warmed up nicely yesterday, and yeah, except for Canada, 48 up there in Hamilton. But most everybody warmed up very nicely. Say goodbye to it because we're not right there right now, although we are at 51 right now with a south wind to 7. More clouds basically around the area today. And yeah, we're going to be hanging out pretty much in the 50s throughout much of the day today. In fact, here it is on the hour-by-hour planner. You can see lower to mid-50s through the day. We might spike up into the upper 50s for at least a brief period of time this afternoon. But again, you can see the rain chances will start to diminish and become more scattered in the afternoon. More rain for tomorrow, at least in scattered nature, and a little bit of another dicey weekend coming up. We'll talk about it in a few. Justin?
All right, Dakota, thank you very much. Coming up next, we have a lot more to tell you about how faith is helping those through COVID-19. Friend of the show, Pastor Ron Lemon, you see there, joins us live next. Stay with us.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
This is Christine Schuyler, Chautauqua County Public Health Director, with a very important message. We need you to make every effort to protect yourselves and our healthcare workers. If you absolutely don't need to go out, don't. If you have a mild cold or flu-like symptoms, with or without a fever, stay home. If your symptoms are severe, call your healthcare provider. Do not go to the emergency room or urgent care. Do not call 911 or go to the ER unless you are experiencing a life-threatening emergency. The best ways you can help prevent the spread of COVID-19 are to wash your hands often with soap and water, cover your cough, avoid close contact with others. Please stay home.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
And welcome back to WNY News Now. Well, a lot has changed in the past few months, but one thing's for sure. People are still remaining strong and staying together. Joining us on the broadcast to talk more about how faith plays a big role in this COVID-19 outbreak is Pastor Ron Lemon with the Koinonia Christian Fellowship here in Jamestown. Pastor Lemon, great to have you here, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, Justin. Thanks for helping us promote what we believe is the answer to the whole situation. We need to continue to go to God and ask for his guidance through this situation.
And next week, a really big event comes up, a worldwide event, and we're going to have a small part of it here in Jamestown. Can you tell us about what's planned for next Thursday, May 7th?
Yeah, well, since this began, there has been a group of pastors that have been getting together 8 o'clock every morning on a Zoom call, and we're continuing to pray. This is an extension of what was a once a week Tuesday prayer meeting, and now it's every day at 8 o'clock on a Zoom call. But we did not want the pandemic to stop what is a yearly event called the National Day of Prayer. And the National Day of Prayer is held on the first Thursday of May every year, and it's for people to come together as a nation and just pray and ask God to intervene and to give us guidance throughout the course of whatever is going on at that time. And this year it just happens to be that we're in the middle of a pandemic where we're all supposed to be honoring the CDC guidelines for social distancing. And so we're going to do that next Thursday at 12 o'clock at the Chautauqua Mall in their parking lot. The main area will be the former Sears Auto Center. We've got permission to use that building. We're going to set up an FM transmitter so people can drive up in their car. We'll have attendants there that will be parking people every other parking spot, and you'll be facing the Sears Auto Center. And then we have several pastors and a couple of other gentlemen that are going to be leading us in prayer for several different topics. If you'd like me to share those topics with you, I'll do that.
Yeah, and this is, I'll definitely get to that here in a moment, but this is something, this remote church service is something that you guys have been doing really since the beginning of the outbreak at your church in Jamestown. In regards to what people would say that they want to come and check out the event, all they got to do is really stay in their vehicle and tune in on the radio.
Yep, we've got a frequency there that I scoped out that nobody is using. The FM transmitter that I have falls under the guidelines of the FCC, so we're legally allowed to use that signal, which will be 107.5 FM. So when people pull up, I will actually be having some music off of my phone playing through the FM transmitter for them to dial in and listen. And then we've gone as far as to ask each of the members that are going to pray that day to bring their own microphone. All they'll have to do is plug their microphone in, pray for their particular topic, unplug it, go back to their car. The next person comes up, plugs it in, and then again, we're just trying to really be supportive of the government recommendation to be socially distanced so that we don't spread the disease. If people want to, I have they can wear their mask. I would suggest that they also bring hand sanitizer and make sure that they practice everything that we're supposed to be practicing. If I can, we'll be praying that day for government, military, media, church, education, business, family, and repentance. So those are the topics that will be covered by different pastors in the area. And we even have Sheriff Patron is going to actually lead us in prayer for our government. And then we have a businessman, Pat Fuller, that's going to be praying over businesses in the area. And we just want people to turn to God because our hope and our faith is in Him. Faith through something like this is really revealed. It's not challenged, but it's revealed.
Yeah, amen to that. And it's great to see that everybody's coming together to have that spiritual and connection and have that faith during this time. The coming together, how important is that for the community, especially when a lot of us are very concerned during this time because there's so much unknown?
Well, I know when we started doing our drive-in services 3 weeks ago, I really felt like not that God caused this, but I really felt like our church really stepped up, and there's a closeness in our fellowship that I don't know that existed prior to it happening. And it was so cool to see their reactions when they drove up and they were able to wave at other church members. I just really felt like there was a bond that was formed spiritually, socially, through a difficult time. I feel like the church really rose up, and we came closer together as a family, a church family. And that's something I've tried to make happen, but couldn't. And yet God is allowing something like this to actually bring it about.
Right. We seem to be so far apart, yet so close together.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
In regards to the event, in case someone's just joining us, next Thursday, 12 o'clock noon, outside the Sears parking lot. If you drive by, I'm sure you'll see it. Everybody all set up. A lot of great speakers and praying for the community. Specifically for you, Pastor Ron, what will you be praying for next Thursday during the National Day of Prayer?
Well, first and foremost, I'm praying that the Lord will show us favor, and maybe your weatherman can help us out. We don't want any rain, but we're going to do it whether it rains or not. So I'm going to be praying that we don't have any rain. And then my wife and I are actually going to be leading a couple of worship songs to kick the event off. We want to get people fired up and ready for prayer. So that's going to be my part of it, is leading the worship. And then again, we'll have people like Doug Kibbe from Church on the Rock, Tim Stallman from Family Church, Sheriff Quattrone, Pastor Bill Blair from New Creation, Dan Soderberg from First Covenant, Tammy Clayton from Peace Wesleyan. And then we've invited Senator Borrello, Assemblyman Goodell, County Executive Wendell has said that he will be there. And I've invited the mayor of Lakewood, Randy Holcomb, to come and join us as well. But I'm just going to be praying for God to just show up, and that we can just sense his Holy Spirit and for protection for everybody, and that he would put an end to this coronavirus pandemic. Despite what the governor said, I believe that it's going to be God who is going to stop this. And I was very disappointed when Governor Cuomo said that God didn't do it, because it's only going to be ended because God does have something to do with it. And I don't want that to sound political. That's more a spiritual statement, is that we, at this time more than ever, we really need to turn to God for help and direction.
Absolutely, and hopefully he will have good weather for you that day.
Yes.
We always joke here with Dakota that he's just the messenger and not able. Sometimes, though, it's hard to remember that. So, Pastor Ron Lemon with the Koinonia Christian Fellowship here in Jamestown. Sir, thank you so much for joining us today on the broadcast. And best of wishes for next Thursday's event. And we will have more details for viewers posted later at WNYNewsNow.com.
And there is a Facebook event page set up for it if people want to go and look at it. But again, 107.5, 12 to 1 p.m. next Thursday, and we'd love to have as many people as possible. Let's fill the parking lot at the mall with people that come to pray.
Absolutely, and we thank you for being here today. And let's switch now to that messenger for Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter joining us. Are you texting God, Dakota? Because
I'm sorry.
You're on the broadcast.
No, I'm actually currently on a group chat with Mother Nature. So we're going to try to make it work, guys. We're going to try. Okay.
There we go.
Yes. Okay. So speaking of Mother Nature here, let's take a look at the rainfall totals that we've had over the past 24 hours. Mayville, over 3/4 of an inch of rainfall over the past 24 hours. Wattsburg, 0.46. Olean, 3.8 here. Jamestown, now the total for the city, this is a spotter report, 0.37. The actual airport has gauged, I think, about 3/100 of an inch. That was the last total that I seen when I checked it. 3/100 of an inch at the airport north of the city. This was measured southwest of the city. So you can see the discrepancy there with the rain totals. Gary at 0.29 and basically less than half an inch there in basically less than 1/4 of an inch in Sinclairville. And this is a trend you like. Notice how the temperatures have kind of been fluctuating up and down. We had 61 on Sunday, 50 on Monday, but we're back up to 65 on Wednesday. That was the official high yesterday. And man, that felt good with the sun that was peeking out at times. But yeah, that's kind of done for at least a little while. So the zone forecast today, the Lake Erie shoreline shoreline here, notice the temp gradient here going from 46 in Girard up to 51 in Harbor Creek. This is a cold front that's going to be moving through later in the day. So temperatures will actually start to fall back about 5, 6 o'clock in the afternoon, but the majority of the afternoon should be mainly dry as that cold front sweeps through. Expect these temperatures to drop possibly into the lower 50s and also the upper 40s as that cold front ushers in colder air. That's our storm right there. That's that spin you can see right there on your screen. That low pressure, it's just basically stalled out south of Michigan right now, and it's basically here, and it's throwing waves of rain our way. You can see all the rain that is basically in association with it on the warmer side of that storm system. So how much more rain are we going to pick up? Let's take a look at future scan and let's see what it's showing for rain totals. And again, it's not being overly impressed with this. I think about 1/4 of an inch to a little over 1/2 an inch. I think that'll pretty do it through today, going all the way through tomorrow. So about 1/4 of an inch to another 1/2 inch worth of rainfall likely tomorrow. Let's show that to you here. And you can see the rain has tapered off and it will become more scattered in nature as we go through the afternoon and especially into tonight. Now, as we head into tomorrow, again, the better chance of rain, it'll be scattered rain, not all day rain. So again, the better chance of rain will be today and tonight. It'll actually ultimately taper off. And we'll actually get into some areas of fog tonight. In fact, here's the planner for tonight here. Rain showers, mostly cloudy intervals. Fog will develop by morning. Temperatures lower to mid 40s for most areas with a light wind. How about your future? Next 7 days are coming up on the screen. And tomorrow we're up to 55. And again, there'll be dry times in between, scattered showers, sun and clouds Saturday. That's probably going to be your pick day of the weekend because even though Sunday will be warmer, there will be a chance for scattered showers mainly in the morning. The afternoon should be dry at this point. We'll get into another chance of showers on Monday, and then we turn drier and cooler again by early next week with temperatures falling below average in the lower 50s to upper 40s. Justin?
All right, Dakota, thank you very much. Well, in addition to faith, patriotism is highly visible amidst this pandemic. And during these hard times, Americans are coming together to display their love for our country. Camille Burnell shows us just a few of these displays this week.
Americans are showing their love for our country and for each other. It's bringing entire cities together despite the distance and helping neighbors comfort each other.
God bless America.
In Michigan, this couple has been singing for more than a month.
God bless America is really a prayer.
He's doing it to pray over the neighborhood and bring people together.
I love it. When I see that flag, too, that blesses me. It makes me... Anyway, yeah, I love it.
It's a comfort. You know, you hear it and you know that your neighbors are out and they're okay.
In Iowa, this elderly couple is also doing the same. The reaction is similar as neighbors stepped outside to join them. And finally, the Thunderbirds and the Blue Angels. With the hashtag #AmericaStrong, the Navy's Blue Angels and the Air Force Thunderbirds performing a joint flyover in salute to frontline COVID-19 responders. They asked Americans to watch from the safety of their homes and told people not to travel to see them.
I had goosebumps. It was so beautiful. Yeah. It was so beautiful. It was a little fast though.
And the flyovers will continue over the next 2 weeks. In a joint statement, the Navy and the Air Force saying this is a way of showing people that we're all in this together and that the American spirit will prevail. I'm Camila Burnell reporting.
All right, Camila, thank you. Certainly great to see, and we need that in this time. Just stay strong because we will get through this together. Well, that's going to do it for us today. Of course, news continues 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com. We leave you with this live look over downtown Jamestown. It looks like the skies have started to clear. I see a little bit off in the distance. Of course, if you're on the go, stay in the know by downloading our mobile app. It's free in the Apple App Store, Google Play Store, and will keep you in the know about COVID-19 and so much more. We're back tomorrow with another edition of WNY News Now Live at noon. Can't wait to see you then.